Have you ever noticed how something that once brought comfort like masturbation can start to feel rushed, unfulfilling, or oddly disconnected as you age? If so, you're not alone. Many men over 60 quietly experience this shift, often without understanding why. And the surprising part, it's not about age stealing your spark. It's about old habits silently working against you. There are 7 common mistakes older men make that slowly sabotage their sexual well-being. These aren't flashy errors, but quiet patterns that used to serve a purpose when you were younger and now hold you back. In this video from Healthy Hues Wellness, we're diving into what those mistakes are, why they happen, and how to reverse them. Because you deserve to feel connected, confident, and in tune with your body at every stage of life. Let's begin with one of the most widespread misconceptions out there, the semen retention myth. It's the belief that withholding ejaculation can somehow give you superpowers, more energy, better focus, higher testosterone. Maybe you've heard this online or even practiced it, hoping for a mental or physical edge. But here's the truth, while very short periods of abstinence might cause temporary hormonal shifts, extended semen retention isn't the secret weapon it's made out to be. In fact, it can do more harm than good, especially after 60. Suppressing your body's natural release for too long can lead to pelvic discomfort, mood changes, and even an increased risk of prostate issues. That's not discipline, it's disruption. Your body was built for rhythm and release. Ejaculation isn't just about pleasure, it's about function. It helps regulate hormones, reduce stress, support prostate health, and even improve sleep quality. Healthy masturbation isn't something to feel guilty or confused about. Think of it like stretching your muscles or taking deep breaths. It's maintenance, not indulgence. The problem isn't the act, it's how we approach it. This brings us to the second silent saboteur, using the same grip pressure and motion every single time. Habits feel safe, they're predictable. But when it comes to self-pleasure, repetition can actually train your body to respond to only one specific kind of stimulation. Over time, that limited pattern dulls sensitivity and makes it harder to enjoy intimacy with a partner or even with yourself. Imagine if you only ate one type of food every day for years. Eventually, your body would crave something new, something more. The same goes for touch. Your body adapts, and when it adapts too narrowly, it becomes less responsive overall. That can lead to frustration, doubts about your performance, and a sense of disconnection. But here's the good news. It doesn't take a radical change to reboot your sensitivity and reconnect with pleasure. Small shifts can make a big difference. Try using your non-dominant hand. Experiment with lighter or firmer pressure. Change the rhythm, the angle, even the setting. If you're open to it, consider using safe and age-appropriate tools that are designed to support comfort and blood flow. The goal isn't novelty for novelty's sake. It's about giving your nervous system new information. When you vary your approach, you stimulate different nerve endings, invite more awareness into your body, and rebuild that connection you may have lost over time. And perhaps most importantly, this exploration is a powerful act of self-respect. It says, my pleasure still matters, my experience still matters. At this stage in life, intimacy becomes less about performance and more about presence. It's not about going back to who you were, it's about embracing who you are now with curiosity and care. So ask yourself, are you holding on to routines that no longer serve you? Are you confusing control with strength? And if so, are you willing to try a different way? One that honors where you are and what you need now. Because the next mistake on our list, it's one nearly every man overlooks, and it could be the key to regaining the deep satisfaction you thought was gone for good. Stay with us. What comes next might change the way you view your own body and pleasure for the better. You're not letting go of what once brought you pleasure. You're simply expanding how you experience it. As your body changes, your approach to pleasure can change with it, and that's not a loss. It's a growth. Just like muscles respond to new movements with strength and resilience, your nervous system responds to new sensations with greater richness and depth. This isn't about chasing novelty for the sake of excitement. It's about staying connected to yourself in a way that feels natural, evolving, and real. Many men don't realize how deeply they've internalized old habits, especially when it comes to self-pleasure. One of the most common yet overlooked patterns is rushing through the experience. This habit often begins early in life, shaped by privacy urgency or even shame. Over time, the body learns this rushed rhythm as the norm. What was once a quick release becomes an automatic pattern played out without thought presence or emotional depth. And that's where disconnection begins. When you move quickly, the experience becomes mechanical. It's no longer about enjoyment. It becomes a goal to finish rather than a process to feel. For men over 60, this is especially limiting. Your body is still capable of deep, nourishing pleasure, but rushing dulls that potential. It blocks arousal from fully developing and keeps your mind from being truly present. Rushing past sensation means missing the very thing you're seeking. The result? A feeling of emptiness, flatness, a sense that something vital is missing. But when you slow down, everything starts to shift. Slowing the pace gives your body time to respond, to awaken, to enjoy. It allows arousal to build naturally and gently. Your nervous system has space to activate. Your breath deepens, your awareness sharpens. Suddenly, a simple touch becomes powerful. A pause becomes meaningful. Intentional mindful touch isn't about performance, it's about presence. It's the difference between listening to background noise and really hearing a beautiful piece of music. Slowing down lets you hear the full melody of your body. It makes the moment feel sacred, not just routine. This kind of presence transforms the experience. It becomes less about the outcome and more about the journey. You feel more connected, not just physically but emotionally too. You feel grounded, alive, whole. And yet even slowing down has its limits if your attention stays locked on only one part of your body. That brings us to another quiet mistake, one that's even more deeply ingrained. Many men unknowingly focus all their attention on their genitals, assuming that's where all pleasure lives. But the human body is full of possibility. From your neck to your thighs, from your chest to your lower back, there are thousands of nerve endings waiting to be awakened. Each one is an opportunity to deepen sensation and connection. Ignoring these areas is like playing a piano, but only using one key. You miss out on the symphony your body can create. Your inner thighs, your stomach, your shoulders, even your feet. These are all part of your pleasure map. Areas like the perineum are especially rich in nerve endings and can add a completely new dimension to sensation. Gentle touch, warm or cool temperatures. A slow massage. These aren't extras, they're essential. They invite you to feel more, to be more. Not just in terms of physical response, but in emotional presence too. When you include more of your body in the experience, you step out of old patterns. You begin to notice what's been missing. You discover new sources of pleasure and new ways to connect with yourself. This isn't about being exotic or doing something extreme. It's about respecting your whole self. You're not just one part. You are a system of feelings, reactions, needs, and awareness. Every part of your body is connected. And when you bring them into harmony, your pleasure deepens, not because you're doing more, but because you're feeling more. This kind of full body engagement isn't just good for your nervous system, it's good for your soul. It reminds you that you're still capable of experiencing joy, warmth, and intimacy in a way that's grounded and real. But there's still one more layer to uncover. Even when you include more of your body, the quality of your touch, the way you interact with your own skin, can either enhance or reduce the experience. And there's one simple but crucial detail that most men miss, quietly limiting their comfort and sensitivity without even realizing it. That's what we'll explore next, because the smallest change can often make the biggest difference. Sometimes the simplest things make the biggest difference. And when it comes to self-pleasure, one of the most overlooked yet transformative elements is lubrication. As the body ages, natural changes like decreased skin moisture and reduced sensitivity can alter how touch feels. What was once smooth and effortless may now feel dry, rough, or even slightly uncomfortable. Yet many men continue to skip lubrication often because it's never been part of their routine, or they assume it's unnecessary. But avoiding lubrication can quietly limit your pleasure. It increases friction, causes irritation, and over time may even contribute to microscopic skin damage that dulls sensitivity. What should feel gentle and pleasurable can instead feel rushed, harsh, or unfulfilling. Using a high-quality lubricant can completely change the experience. It creates a smoother, more fluid sensation that mimics the feeling of intimacy. It protects your skin, enhances sensitivity, and reduces strain. For men with arthritis or joint stiffness, lubrication can also ease movement and reduce the physical effort involved. This isn't about needing help, it's about choosing comfort. Just like reading glasses help you see more clearly, or supportive shoes make walking easier. Lubricant is a tool that honors your changing needs. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. It's about knowing your body well enough to support it with care. When you embrace this shift, the result is often surprising. You may feel more connected, more present, more confident in your body's ability to experience real pleasure without struggle or discomfort. But even with the right tools, the biggest barrier isn't always physical. For many men, the real limitation lies within the mind. That's where another powerful force quietly holds back pleasure shame. For decades, countless men have carried emotional weight tied to self-pleasure. Messages from childhood cultural silence, religious beliefs, or outdated norms taught them that masturbation was wrong, indulgent, or something to be hidden. Even now, long after those lessons have lost their relevance, the guilt often lingers. You might know intellectually that masturbation is normal and healthy. But if a quiet shame still surfaces after the act, if you feel the need to rush through it, hide it, or dismiss it, that emotional conflict can deeply affect your experience. It creates tension, distances you from your body, and makes it harder to feel truly free. But here's what matters most. There is absolutely nothing shameful about taking time to connect with yourself. When approached with intention and care, self-pleasure becomes more than just release, it becomes a form of self-respect, a moment of stillness, an emotional anchor. In fact, research shows that regular self-pleasure in older adults is associated with better sleep, improved mood, reduced anxiety, and higher self-esteem. These aren't minor benefits. They are powerful, tangible forms of wellness. But none of them can fully blossom if guilt remains in the background. To reclaim joy, you must first question where the shame came from. Was it your belief or someone else's voice implanted years ago? When you realize that those old stories no longer serve you, you give yourself permission to write new ones. You begin to see self-pleasure not as a secret, but as self-care, not as indulgence, but as emotional nourishment. And in that shift, the entire experience transforms. You no longer feel conflicted, you feel whole. Still, mindset and intention are only part of the picture. There's one final, often overlooked element that has the power to elevate everything: the use of supportive tools designed specifically for older men. This is mistake 7: ignoring enhancements that can support your changing body. As you age, sensitivity may decrease, dexterity might shift, and stamina could vary from day to day. That's completely normal. But holding on to the same techniques you used in your 20s and 30s doesn't always serve you now. In fact, it can limit your potential. Today, there are tools specifically designed for men over 60 that address these changes, from ergonomically designed massagers to hands-free devices and tools that enhance blood flow or sensitivity. Modern advancements offer a wider range of options than ever before. Yet many men hesitate to explore them. Some feel hesitant out of pride or discomfort. Others simply aren't aware these resources exist. But by ignoring these tools, they miss out on opportunities to increase comfort, explore new sensations, and create more fulfilling experiences. These enhancements aren't gimmicks. They're thoughtful solutions made with your stage of life in mind. They support the reality of your body, not the memory of what once was. And when used with presence and intention, they don't replace intimacy, they expand it. This is not about chasing youth. It's about honoring your current self with tools that make your experience richer, easier, and more joyful. You wear the right clothes for your lifestyle. You eat the right foods for your health. Embracing pleasure tools is no different. It's an act of self-awareness and care. And when you allow yourself to evolve with your needs, you discover that aging doesn't take pleasure away. It gives it a new kind of depth. Your experience can still be passionate, connected, and deeply satisfying. All it takes is a willingness to let go of outdated habits and embrace what truly supports you now. Because you're not done growing. You're just getting started in a new chapter 1 that's grounded in wisdom, freedom, and lasting joy. There's a world of modern tools designed specifically with older men in mind. Soft silicone sleeves that replicate the sensation of natural touch. Ergonomic devices that support hands with limited flexibility. Gentle massages that awaken nerve endings you may not have felt in years. These aren't gimmicks. They're innovations meant to help you stay connected to your body as it evolves. Using them doesn't mean something is wrong. It means you're listening to your body. Just like you'd reach for reading glasses to see more clearly or choose shoes with arch support to walk with ease, integrating a thoughtfully designed enhancement into your intimate routine is simply smart self-care. It's not about replacing your touch. It's about enhancing your experience. Aging doesn't erase your sexuality, it refines it. And embracing tools that are made for your phase of life opens doors to new kinds of pleasure that is more aligned with your current needs, easier to access, and often more deeply satisfying. You may even uncover sensations that spark joy, curiosity, and a renewed sense of vitality. But while tools can support the journey, it's the mindset behind the experience that truly transforms it. At the core of lasting pleasure and connection lies a shift in how you think and feel about self-pleasure. And this shift may be the most important of all. As you move through your 60s and beyond, stepping into a new mindset allows you to redefine what intimacy means, not just with others, but with yourself. It's no longer about secrecy habit or proving something. It's about embracing self-respect, cultivating presence, honoring the man you are today instead of trying to recreate who you once were, letting go of outdated myths, unspoken shame, and mechanical routines opens the path to something richer. When you give yourself permission to slow down, to try new techniques, to explore more of your body, and to welcome tools that support your needs, you begin to experience pleasure differently. It becomes more about connection than release, more about being present than performing. And with this shift, something deeper begins to unfold. You start to see self-pleasure not as indulgence, but as care, as a practice that affirms your worth, a private ritual that reinforces your connection to your own body. And when this physical practice is paired with emotional freedom, it unlocks a confidence and clarity that can ripple into every part of your life. This isn't just about intimacy, it's about your health, your peace of mind, and your ability to feel alive in your own skin. A complete approach to pleasure recognizes that your needs matter, that your desires are valid, that your moments alone can be just as restorative and essential as any workout, any healthy meal, or any time spent with others. You are not too old for exploration, for comfort, for joy. In fact, this might be the most intentional, deeply connected chapter of your life, and it begins with how you care for yourself when no one else is watching. Reaching your 60s, 70s, or even later years does not mean the end of your sexual identity. It's an invitation to redefine it with wisdom, with compassion, and with a new sense of purpose. For many men, the changes that come with age are quiet but undeniable. Energy shifts, emotional rhythms, deepen, physical sensations evolve. But none of that means your masculinity is fading. None of that takes away your right to feel pleasure, to explore, to connect. Masturbation after 60 isn't a leftover habit from youth. It's not something to brush off, rush through, or hide in shame. When done with care and intention, It becomes an act of self-connection, a way of honoring a body that has carried you through decades of life's ups and downs. It becomes a gesture of self-respect, and in that space, where you let go of old limitations and embrace a more present, compassionate way of connecting with yourself, there is room for renewal, for comfort, for true satisfaction. Not because you're trying to be who you were, but because you're learning to fully love who you are now. That is the heart of lasting intimacy, and it is always within reach. Over the course of this journey, we've uncovered 7 common mistakes that can quietly drain joy, connection, and vitality from one of life's most personal experiences. Holding on to the semen retention myth, repeating the same techniques for years, rushing through the act, ignoring the rest of your body, skipping lubrication, carrying around old shame, avoiding the very tools designed to help you. These aren't just minor oversights. They're signs of outdated thinking habits that may no longer reflect the man you are today. But now you have clarity. You've seen how just a few small changes, slowing down, embracing your full body, releasing judgment, can open up a new, more fulfilling path. This isn't about improving performance, it's about deepening presence. It's about stepping into full ownership of your experience in a world that too often tells older men to fade into the background, to disconnect from their own vitality. Let's be very clear. Your desire for intimacy, for touch, for pleasure, it's not something you outgrow. It's something you grow into. Your body hasn't failed you. It's simply evolving, asking you to meet it with more awareness, more respect, more understanding. And when you answer that call with openness, you step into a deeper, more empowered form of manhood. Reclaiming pleasure also means reclaiming your confidence. Many men carry quiet doubts about their abilities, their function, their value. But your worth has never been defined by how long you last or how firm your response is. Your worth is in how you show up, with care, with curiosity, with self-respect. When you listen to your body, instead of fighting it, you don't shrink. You expand. You tell yourself and the world, I still matter. I still deserve to feel alive. And that sense of dignity doesn't stay confined to the bedroom. It radiates into your posture, your relationships, your daily choices. Men who embrace self-pleasure with mindfulness often report better focus, lower stress, improved sleep, and a more genuine connection with their partners. Why? Because they're no longer performing. They're no longer rushing or hiding. They've accepted their sexuality as a vital part of who they are, without shame, without secrecy. That's what reclaiming self-respect really looks like. It's not about proving anything. It's about aligning with your truth, living in harmony with your own rhythm, creating space where outdated beliefs no longer hold power, where your needs are recognized, honored, and celebrated, not judged. So here's your invitation. Start fresh. Let go of old narratives that no longer serve you. Give yourself permission to explore, to learn to experience pleasure without apology. Invest in what supports your comfort. Choose curiosity over criticism. Approach self-pleasure not as a guilty habit, but as a sacred practice, a form of emotional and physical self-care. You've spent decades showing up for others, fulfilling roles, meeting expectations. Now it's time to turn some of that attention inward, not out of selfishness, but out of self-awareness. Because when you treat yourself with intention and care, everything begins to shift. Your confidence grows, your energy rises, your joy becomes more sustainable. There is no expiration date on sexual wellness, no age limit on feeling whole. There's no chapter in life where pleasure stops being relevant. The story keeps going, and you get to write it. Maybe you're rediscovering parts of yourself you thought were lost, or maybe you're discovering parts you never knew were there. Either way, every moment you spend in honest, conscious connection with your body moves you closer to a fuller, freer life. So don't ask what's behind you. Ask what's still ahead. Because this isn't the end of your prime, it's a deeper one. One rooted in awareness, not appearance. In presence, not pressure. In reverence, not regret. Your pleasure is valid. Your confidence is yours to own. And your self-respect, if you choose to nourish it, will only grow stronger with each intentional step forward. Now take that step. You've more than earned it.